Hello everyone, welcome back to another brand new series, Dinosaur Nerd, that's me. We're going over some young earth creationist sounding guy today. I'm mentally preparing myself for this. How's everyone? You can see my dinosaur collection up there. Put the screen down. Okay, let's get started on this guy called DLM, Christian Lifestyle. Of course, I have nothing against Christianity. However, when it comes to young earth creationism, that's when my blood really starts boiling. So let's hear what this guy has to say about dinosaurs in the Bible, which there are no dinosaurs in the Bible, but I'm going to be correcting him and debunking him today. So let's do this. And also, happy Easter. If you see my fingers, yeah, I dyed Easter eggs. Happy Easter, everyone.
Now this is another video request from you guys. And the question is, what does the Bible say about dinosaurs?
It doesn't.
Are there any dinosaurs in the Bible?
No.
This is going to be a very interesting video. Let's get to it. Now just very quick, if it's the first time that you hear my channel, I'm Daniel and welcome to DLM Christian Lifestyle. If you haven't subscribed yet, then please consider it and also click that notification bell so you won't miss any of the next videos. Now, does the Bible say anything about dinosaurs? Well, yes, a lot.
No,
but
you're
it doesn't
wrong.
use the word dinosaur because back then the word dinosaur did not exist. They called dinosaurs dragons and other specific names like Leviathan and Behemoth.
Okay, how about we look this up? I'm going to stop you there and we are going to deploy a handy dandy where's the dictionary app? We're going to ask the dictionary what a dragon is. Dragon, a mythical monster resembling a giant reptile, sometimes shown as having wings. In European tradition, the dragon is typically fire-breathing. There are no evidence of fire-breathing reptiles. It tends to symbolize chaos or evil. We know that dragons are mythical. We know that. Flying dragon, another term for flying lizard. In the 16th and 17th century, long after it died. So, do not call them dragons because then you would be mislabeling them. So, continue on. DLM. Spacebar doesn't work.
The word dinosaur was created in 1841
Correct.
by Sir Richard Owen.
Correct.
So what does the word dinosaur actually mean? Well, it comes from the Greek words dino and saur, which means terrible lizard.
Correct.
Now let's look at some Bible verses about dragons. Isaiah 51 verse 9. Awake, awake, put on strength, O arm of the Lord. Awake.
I'm going to stop you there. What this Bible verse could be referring to is when it's talking about dragons, it's probably talking about Satan or some demonic looking creature. I don't think this Isaiah verse is talking about dinosaurs. But continue on.
Of old, the generations of long ago. Was it not you who cut Rahab in pieces, who pierced the dragon? You see, in the days of old, before the flood, people used to live a lot longer. The flood changed everything, including the amount of oxygen. Right now, we barely make 80 years. But back then, people lived to be nearly 1,000 years old. Methuselah lived 969
Okay. Yes, there were high levels of not carbonation, oxygen back long ago. That was during the Carboniferous period. And that was before dinosaurs. We keep going on, it's going to get into some very young Earth creationist stuff. So I'm going to try to debunk this and try not to get my blood boiling too much the best I can.
years. Noah,
Continue on.
950. Enosh, 905. Canaan, 910. Seth, 912. And Adam, 930. So they got to see their great-grandchildren. Now, if humans could live that long before the flood, animals could live that long as well.
Perfect.
Especially lizards. But you know, the thing about lizards is they never stop growing. There's your dragons.
Finally, the space bar is working. The reason why we have large lizards is because in the DNA of certain reptiles, depending on genes, like we have large reptiles now. If you've seen some of the videos I've seen of large crocodiles and alligators, we still have large reptiles today. I've seen large crocodiles, large alligators. There's still large reptiles to this day. So don't say that they used to. They still are. Yes, maybe not as big as what you're saying, but it still continue on to this day. So that's another debunk. Continue on.
Imagine a 900-year-old lizard. But not just the types of lizards that we have today, but those that are extinct. Sadly, according to the Animal Foundation, just over the last 500 years, as many as 1,000 species vanished, without even accounting for many thousands more that went extinct before science discovered and described them. And now, 38% of all known species on a global scale are on the verge of extinction.
Sad.
This is all because of us, humans. And now all the dinosaurs are also...
Hold up. I don't mean to interrupt, but the reason why animals go extinct is not just because of humans. That's a widely held theory. Animals go extinct due to the change of climate as well. So the change of climate, like say if there's an animal that lives in a certain type of forest, and then that forest starts disappearing, so does that animal. So humans are not always responsible for certain creatures' extinction. Yes, we're responsible for the dodo bird dying out, and I believe probably the mammoths too. But not all the creatures on planet Earth have gone extinct due to humanity. But continue on.
But humans used to live among dinosaurs.
No, they did not.
That's why they found the petroglyph in Natural Bridges, Utah. Legends and stories of dragons in the whole world. And
don't mean to interrupt, but this right here, I'm very sure that this petroglyph is either fake or has already been debunked. So I wouldn't be using this because it either got debunked by somebody else or it's probably most likely fake, and you're just... I'll explain more later on of why not to use those sorts of things.
in 2015, they found soft tissue in dinosaur bones.
Hold up. Lots of other people have gone over the soft tissue. Do not use that as an evidence, because that has already been debunked by so many other people that know a lot more about this topic, and you should go check those people out before you make that sort of claim. So continue on.
How is that possible if dinosaurs are over 65 million years old?
Go check those people out. Hear what they have to say before coming up with these very, very, very uneducated, I'm trying to choose my words carefully. Just look stuff up. Don't jump to any radical conclusions is what I'm trying to say.
It's not. Now, the Bible uses the Hebrew word tanyin to describe a dinosaur. It can also be translated as sea monster, serpent, or dragon.
Let's look up sea serpent because I love using the good old dictionary. And you can use a dictionary too. Serpent. Serpent. The serpent is a biblical name for Satan. See Genesis 3, Revelation 20, a dragon or a mythical snake-like reptile, fire-breathing flying serpents. This has nothing to do with dinosaurs or dinosaurs. If you had only just looked this up before you made this video or did a little bit more research, I wouldn't be calling this out. Serpent either means snake or referring to Satan. It does not mean dinosaurs. And what was the other creature? Okay, we're gonna look that up right now, right here, right now. Titan. Am I spelling it right? There's 3 N's. I'm missing 1 N. A yellowish brown, bitter tasting substance. Now, I spelled it correctly. Hebrew word. Hebrew. How about thesaurus? Nope, not a thesaurus either. Continue on.
The tanyin appear to have been a big, giant reptile of some sort.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a dinosaur.
In the Old Testament, around 30 times. Unfortunately, some Bible translations, including my Afrikaans language Bible, do not translate tanyin correctly. Instead, they use words like elephant or hippopotamus. But when we read it in its context, we clearly see that it's not just a hippo or an elephant, but it's describing a dragon.
No, it's not describing a dragon. This scripture, I wouldn't be using Hebrew because I wouldn't be using this word at all, because this thing that it could be referring to is what I'm saying is it's not what you think it is. But keep going.
For example, in Job 40 verse 15, God says
Here
to
we
Job,
go.
"Behold Behemoth, which I made as I made you. He eats grass like an ox. Behold his strength in his loins, and his power in the muscles of his belly. He makes his tail stiff like a cedar." A cedar tree is huge. That's a huge tail. That's not a hippo or an elephant tail. The sinews of his thighs are knit together. His bones are tubes of bronze. His limbs like bars of iron. He is the first of the works of God. Let him who made him bring near his sword. For the mountains yield food for him, where all the wild beasts play. Under the lotus plants he lies, in the shelter of the reeds and in the marsh. For his shade the lotus trees cover him. The willows of the brook surround him. Behold, if the river is turbulent, he is not frightened. He's so big that even if the water is turbulent, big waves, it doesn't affect him at all. Can one take him by his eyes or pierce his nose with a snare? You can't even try to intimidate him when you look into his eyes, because you'll know when you look into those eyes, you stand no chance. You can't pierce his nose with a snare. He's not an ox that...
Cheers to the anytimes.
Okay, thank you, ad, for Starbucks ad. I'm going to pause it right there, and we're going to be going over Behemoth later on. Okay, so Behemoth. We'll cover that later on in the video. And breaking down Behemoth for you.
That you can try and tame. And then God goes over from talking about the behemoth to the Leviathan in Job chapter 41. He says, can you draw out Leviathan with a fish hook?
You're using Godzilla. Copyright.
Or pierce his jaw with a hook? Will he make many pleas to you? Will he speak to you soft words?
Yeah, it could be Godzilla.
They know that the answers to these questions are no. But God is trying to make a point. He's trying to teach Job something. That he is just a human. And that God is God Almighty. And Job knows nothing, actually, about who God really is and how the world works. He can't judge God or tell him what to do. If you read the whole book of Job, you'll understand this passage in its context.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. We are going to cover Behemoth. Leviathan, I don't think is... that could be a separate topic for another video. I am not an atheist. I believe in the supernatural, but I take a skeptical view when it comes to this sort of stuff. So we're going to enter part 2 of the video, and I'm going to start breaking it down more. Okay, we're back for part 2. Let's cover the last part of the video. The creationist part. Let's get this over with.
Of all flesh in which there was the breath of life. Now that includes dragons or lizards. Now you're probably thinking, but dinosaurs are too big to fit on the ark. Well, yes, they are, but not the babies, not the
Now you're
ones.
sounding like another
Noah
creationist that I know of that lives in
because it's easier to
the south.
handle them, and also they just live longer. So how and when did they all disappear? Why are they extinct? If you're curious, if you want to know the answer, then please let me know in the comment section down below. And if there are enough requests, then I'll make a second video about this. Now stick around, watch some of my other videos here.
Okay, we're going to be breaking this down now. So let's get into this. Hello, and now we're going to be breaking down Behemoth. Now, it's been a while since I've read Job, and I've had other people ask me about Behemoth too in the Bible. So it's found in Job 40. So let's scroll down and read together. Job 40, verse number 15. Behold, which I made with thee. He eateth grass as an ox. Lo now, his strength is in his loins, and his force is in the navel of his belly. The moveth of his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his stones are wrapped together. His bones are as strong as a piece of brass. His bones are like that of bars of iron. He is the chief of the ways of God. He that made him can make his sword to approach unto him. Surely the mountains bring him forth food. where all the beasts of the field play. He lieth under the shade of the trees, in the covert of the reeds and ferns. The shady trees cover him with their shadow. The willows of the brook compass him about. Behold, he drinketh up the river, and hasteneth not. He trusteth that he can draw up Jordan into his mouth. He taketh it with his eyes. His nose pierceth through snares. Shall he that covet the mighty instruct him? He that reproveth God, let him answer it. Then Job answered the Lord, saying, and said, Behold, I am vile, and shall not answer thee. I lay mine hand upon my mouth. So is there any more about Behemoth? Strength is in his loins, his force is in the navel of his belly. Verse 16. He eateth grass like an ox. Number 15. Why can I not highlight it? Grass like an ox. Let's ask Google, what sauropods eat? Plants. Enormous sauropod like Brachiosaurus, Dreadnoughtus, and Titanosaur were herbivores. That is, they ate plants because they were so big they had to eat thousands of kilograms worth of food every day. There is a big bit of debate, though, about were they able to digest their food. Okay, so scroll down here. How much did sauropods eat a day? Even superfood sauropods must vacuum as 1 ton as much of plant matter. Did sauropods eat trees? Compared to their large owners, fossil sauropod teeth can seem puny, including those of Diplodocus. This 3-ton, 12,000 kiloton herbivore presumably used its pencil-shaped teeth for nipping and stripping leaves of needles from trees. Okay, I see one here that asks, did they eat grass? Droppings most likely came from sauropods, which weighed more than 1,000 tons. They were the heaviest creatures to ever walk the earth. Although scientists knew from the shape of their teeth, this is the first proof that dinosaurs snacked on grass. Dinosaurs ate grass? What website is this? Live Science. Oh. Fossilized grass extracted 65 million years dung. Ate grass. So grass was around during the Cretaceous period? Grass existed on Earth for at least 10 million years earlier than was known. Based on a new discovery in fossilized dinosaur dung, it is also the first solid evidence that some dinosaurs ate grass. While distinct fossil droppings known as coprolites, research found tiny structures called skeletons that provide support to the plant, typically exclusive to grass. Yeah, but don't putting your head down low, doesn't that make you vulnerable to being ask Google another question. Do giraffe eat with their head down low? Because that is a modern day animal with a long neck with their head down to the ground. Missing an arc. They sometimes also lie down with their heads resting on their... Okay, that does not help me at all. What are the feeding habits of a giraffe? Giraffes are primarily browsers, mainly eating leaves and buds on trees and shrubs. They also eat herbs, climbers, I think that's climbers, and vines. They also prefer flowers, fruits when in season. So, if modern day animals like giraffes that have long necks, extinct animals like sauropods and other megafauna that had long necks, extinct animals, they would behave the same as in hypothesis and theory as modern day giraffes do. So I think that Job is probably talking about another creature that I like to bring up. Where is it? Paraceratherium. Paraceratherium, largest mammal to ever exist. Here is a good picture of it. Move my camera out of the way. A Paraceratherium has a long neck. Their bones of our cedar, and what else? It moves its tail like a cedar. Who cares about its tail and cedar? What's a cedar tree again? I think a cedar tree is like a pine tree. I believe that it's a Paraceratherium, not a sauropod dinosaur, because a cedar... I don't think the behemoth is a sauropod. It can't be a sauropod because then everything that we know about dinosaurs and what paleontologists have told about dinosaurs, if behemoth is a sauropod, would have been false. So that's why I don't think behemoth is a sauropod dinosaur. And I know that Leviathan is probably some other sort of sea creature. The ocean is so far not that well explored. There could be leviathans, probably. It could be leviathans, but I don't really know about what's in our ocean either. So I don't think it's a sauropod because that would put the sauropod in a very dangerous position to be having its head low to the ground, and plus giraffes don't eat with their heads down low, they eat with their heads in the trees, and Paracerium probably fed on low-lying plants. I believe that Behemoth is a Paraceratherium, so I am debunking that and saying that Paraceratherium Behemoth could be a Paraceratherium, which is part of the megafauna. Okay, that's it for part 2. I'm not gonna Leviathan. The ocean is not that well explored, so there could be Leviathan. I don't know, but that's it for part 2. Until the next episode in the series, sign out. Hello, welcome back to another episode of Dinosaur Nerd Reacts to YEC. Oh, this series. We did a part 1, part 2, and now we're gonna have to do another part 3 because this guy, DLM Christian Lifestyle, he's just gone way too crazy. He made another video about saying, how did dinosaurs die or become extinct? And the dinosaur nerd that I am, I have to say something because that's just who I am. I have to say something and do this from a scientific perspective. So without further ado, let's hear what this guy has to say, and let's start this. Okay.
Hey guys, many of you asked me to make this video, and here
Wait, what?
it is, finally. How did the dinosaurs die or become extinct?
Most likely an asteroid.
In the first video, I showed you that the dinosaurs lived with humans.
No.
And not millions of years ago. In the Bible, they are called tanin, meaning dragons. The word dinosaur was only created much later in the...
All right, let's go back to your word, tanin, and I'm going to Google it real quick in a separate tab. Okay, tannin. Okay, tannin. Tannin. So tan. Actually, there's 3 N's. Tannin. Oh, it says here a yellowish or brownish, bitter tasting organic substance in some bark plant tissues. It's an element. It has nothing to do with what you're saying. So either it's a word that came from somewhere, but it's not what you're trying to say. So continue on.
Meaning dragons. The word dinosaur was only created much later in the 1800s. Now,
dragons are not real. They are fantasy.
A lot of people say the dinosaurs probably died at the flood.
No, they did not.
Other people say, who believe in evolution, no, they died millions of years ago at the Ice Age. Only birds survived. Now they say that a lot of the birds are actually the evolved dinosaurs. Well, that's not what the Bible says. And that's not
the Bible is very vague when it comes to the Old Testament. I find very vague.
The truth. The fact is that the dinosaurs went with Noah on the ark. Genesis 7, verse 13. On the very same day, Noah...
Oh,
Noah and his sons, Shem and Ham and Japheth, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them entered the ark. They and every beast, not some beasts, every beast, according to its kind. And all the livestock, according to their kinds. And every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, according to its kind. And every bird, according to its kind. Every winged creature.
Dragons are not real. Oh my goodness.
So every animal of its kind. That includes dinosaurs.
No, it does not.
I'd say, Daniel, that's just crazy.
Yes.
Dinosaurs are huge. So there's no way that huge dinosaurs could have been brought on the ark with all of the other animals as well. That might be true. Not huge dinosaurs and huge animals, but babies, definitely. It will be much easier and wiser to take small...
That is from Walking with Dinosaurs. I don't know why YouTube hasn't... Maybe YouTube said something about that. I'm pretty sure that is copyrighted image right there.
All animals into the ark, and not big and old ones.
That is paleo art from somebody. You need to credit them.
So that after the flood, they could have lived longer and produced more babies. Big dinosaurs were big. Well, some of them, depending on their kind, right? But the babies were, well, babies, small. Do you know what the biggest egg fossil is that they found of dinosaurs? The biggest dinosaur egg fossil was around the size of a football. That's it. That's close to an ostrich egg. So imagine the size of dinosaur that could come out of that egg. Not very big, right? And then before the flood, they had hundreds of years to grow, right? Remember lizards, they never stop growing. And so they have hundreds of years to grow.
This sounds like another guy that I remember.
Because that's how old the people got at that time as well. Very, very old, some over 900 years old. And the ark was a lot bigger than people think.
Oh, not that place. That place makes my blood boil.
The Ark encounter in northern Kentucky shows us. They created the Ark replica according to the instructions of the Bible. And so doing proved that it was possible to bring so many different animals on the Ark. Take some time and go visit them when you have the chance. So,
No. N-O.
After the flood, these baby dinosaurs went into nature and they repopulated. They had babies and they just got more. So what happened to them? Why don't we see them here anymore today? Well, let's just back up a little bit. I honestly believe that they did repopulate the earth, spread across the land with more dinosaurs. And I believe this is why we have so many dragon legends across the globe. Now just hang in because I'm going to tell you about these legends, these interesting stories.
Continue on.
In a bit. First of all, I believe that the world they stepped into after the flood was extremely different. It was devastated by the flood, right? So the pre-flood world, called the antediluvian period, it was two different...
Also made up period that somebody made up.
Worlds. There was now more water, which also divided certain countries as it is still today. But before the flood, the land was more connected, called by some as Pangea.
Yeah.
And now God himself also made a few changes. We see that in Genesis 9, verse 1. And God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. The fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every bird of the heavens, upon everything that creeps on the ground, and all the fish of the sea. Into your hand they are delivered. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. And as I gave you the green plants, I give you everything. Now remember, before the fall, Adam and Eve and the animals there, they only ate plants, fruits, nuts, veggies, all that kind of stuff. But then after the fall, it changed. Some humans probably started to eat animals, but only after the flood, God made it official. That's what we read in the Bible. In those early years after the flood, it was probably not as easy just to live from plants anymore because, well, the flood just devastated the land. And so people had to start killing and eating animals to survive. Many species and humans struggled and are still struggling to survive in this new world today. Many died and many are dying today. A lot of dinosaurs also died. As we can see in the fossil records, many plants, animals, dinosaurs died and became extinct. There are even plants and animals rapidly become...
They didn't become extinct because of your crazy worldview is here. They either became extinct due to natural disasters that before humanity ever came on the scene.
Becoming extinct even to this day. According to the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species, more than 42,100 species are threatened with extinction right now. You know, we humans are killing everything. And we've been doing it for a very long time. Some people care,
Correct.
And some people don't care at all.
Correct.
Just look at the mess that our oceans are in. Ocean life decreasing at an alarming rate. According to the Global Citizen, 22 animals went extinct in the US alone in 2021. These are beautiful animals like the Bachman's warbler, the ivory-billed woodpecker, flat-beaked mussel, the Molokai creeper, and so forth. So many animals, including dinosaurs, have become extinct over the years because of factors like environmental changes, diseases, genetic problems, natural catastrophes, lack of food, and people kill them. People hunted dinosaurs.
People did not hunt dinosaurs because we would have evidence for it, scientific evidence. But we don't have scientific evidence, therefore, there's no proof.
Source for food, leather, ivory, and other things. Just like we killed millions of
Dang it, I clicked on it way too many times. Hang on. There we go. No, there's no ivory on a dinosaur. I think that's a little crazy.
Animals in the last 100 years. Trophy hunting is also a huge factor. In South Africa, you used to have elephants walking everywhere, and huge ones with huge tusks. When humans moved in, they built towns and whole communities, and they killed every one of them. Trophy hunters killed out all the best DNA. You know, the DNA of those big, big elephants with the huge tusks of 2 to 3 meters. They don't
Yeah, but this has nothing to do with dinosaurs.
exist anymore. And guess how many wild animals like lions, elephants, cheetahs walk around here in the wild in South Africa? 0. None. Just some deer here and there. You can only find them in safari parks now, like the Kruger National Park. But humans did not create safari parks back when dinosaurs still roamed the earth. People are scared of wild animals, beasts like lions, tigers, elephants. And so whenever you see the civilization moving into an area, they kill off all dangerous animals because people don't want them around their houses. They want to be safe. And we've basically killed off all dangerous animals in South Africa in just this last 100 years. Now imagine how people could have hunted dinosaurs called dragons back then.
This is imagination and fantasy. There's no such thing as dragons.
And from the time of the flood up until now, that's over 4,300 years. Well, if they did, you would expect us to have evidence of it somewhere, right? Even just a little bit. Do we? A lot. Everywhere. Answers in Genesis mentions a few. Dating back to 2000 BC or earlier, tells of a hero named Gilgamesh, who, when he went to fell cedars in a remote forest, encountered a huge vicious dragon that he slew, cutting off its head as a trophy. When Alexander the Great, 330 BC, and his soldiers marched into India, they found that the Indians worshipped huge hissing reptiles that they kept in caves. China is renowned for its dragon stories, and dragons are prominent on Chinese pottery, embroidery, and carvings.
Yeah, but they're not real.
Several other cultures retain the story of Saint George, who slew a dragon that lived in a cave. Then there's the story of the 10th century Irishman, who wrote of his encounter with what appears to have been a stegosaurus. In the 1500s, a European scientific book, Historia Animalium, listed several living animals that we would call...
These are all not real. These are just stories. These are not real at all. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because these are all just stories.
Who wrote about seeing a dragon, aka dinosaur.
Nope, not the same. I'm going to skip a little ahead.
Dinosaur. Because they existed. Not millions of years ago, but recently.
Yes, millions of years ago.
Isaiah 14 verse 29. Rejoice not, O Philistia, all of you, that the rod that struck you is broken. For from the serpent's root will come forth an udder, and its fruit will be a flying, fiery serpent. Most of you probably heard about Beowulf. It's a very interesting, entertaining story these days, but
also not real. This is not real. I've already gone over this in the past.
Taking a bath in a brachiosaur footprint.
Oh no, not this guy again.
And the reason he had...
Why do you put this guy called Kent Hovind in your video? This guy is... The reason why this guy is not on YouTube anymore, his channel's not on YouTube, because he went against YouTube's policies and was a really Christian DLM, Christian lifestyle. This guy has a bad reputation. I don't understand why you put him in this video. You know, he had you know that he I can't believe this. This guy, the reason why his channel's not on YouTube is that he went against YouTube's policy and bought subscribers, and YouTube is against that. And not only that, he's affiliated with Chris Jones, which is a pedophile. So yeah, not a really good idea to be associating with these sorts of people. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because this guy doesn't make my blood boil as bad as Answers in Genesis. Mokale and Bembe. Also, yeah. Also something... Let me skip ahead. Wow, most of the video is... Wow. This video could have been so shorter and you could have left him out. Okay, here he is. I'm surprised there was no copyright. I don't know if his videos are copyrighted. Kent's videos are copyrighted. But this video could have been a lot shorter if you hadn't put him in.
Is that he got it. And you know, here's the sad part of this. These people who want to force evolution down your throat, who say that dinosaurs existed millions of years ago, they will never show you this evidence. Even if people find new evidence.
There is no evidence, because if there were evidence, then we would slowly, I don't know. I have never found any evidence to back these sorts of theories up myself and over the years. And this is all, you shouldn't be associating yourself with this guy that his friend is a pedophile. You shouldn't have answers in Genesis in here either, because, you know, you can have a Christian channel and I would be perfectly fine with it if you would just left all this controversial stuff out. You would have had a completely I would be completely fine if you weren't doing this, which is why I have to come out of my shell and explain to you that this is all, this is all controversial nonsense. And look at that. What's this over here? Yeah.
The top of his creation, of all the animals, is the dragon, not the lion. He never said that the lion is the king.
Dragons are not real. They're fantasy.
Of nature. Read it with me. God says in Job 40.
I've already gone over Behemoth. Behemoth was a paraceratherium, in my view. Largest mammal. There were no dinosaurs. And then I believe this is Leviathan. What's this? Yeah, in summary, in conclusion, to wrap this up here, there's no such thing as dragons. And I am not an atheist myself. I am a skeptic. I love science, and I want to have this from a scientific perspective. And so far here, this is not scientific. This is all based on assumption from a book in the Bible that is extremely vague. I wish this part of the Bible would have been given, would have been more clear, would have given more information. And this whole worldview is based on assumption, because that's all you have. You have assumption, whether you're assuming a part that isn't really fact, but you're going out walking out in assumption to assume. And this is where this is not science. This is not logic. And this is definitely not. I hope to the creator of this channel here, what I would do if I were you is erase all these videos on dinosaurs, because you do not want to be promoting this guy here, this guy Kent Hovind, because he is, I can link down a ton of videos for you to go watch of why you shouldn't be hanging around and associating with this guy. And as for no answers and Genesis people, they just make my blood boil. And you would have way more subscribers, and you would I could only imagine the dislike count, man. I have to, because I don't believe in this, because this whole worldview is based on assumption. And yeah, so I think that has to conclude it. I hope you all learned something from this. And to the creator of this channel, I hope you take down all these videos soon, because you do not want to hang around or associate with this guy or Answers in Genesis, because sooner or later an atheist will probably come and probably do an less respectful sort of video, or just somebody else. So I would recommend taking down all this right now and immediately. Until next time, this has been Dino Nerd. Christopher here, signing off.